season in your life is supposed to be maximized to the fullest. And I fear that a lot of people, without knowing it, spend a lot of time fantasizing the next season without milking this season. Being single is not a disease, it's not a curse. This season for you is a season of self-discovery. It's a season of self-acceptance. Hey guys, welcome back to the Power Closet, a space for perspectives where conversation meets style. If you're new here, hi, my name is Tumi and I make all sorts of videos, conversational videos, lifestyle, travel, and also some fashion. Welcome, welcome, welcome. First of all, disclaimer, I know my voice may sound a little bit off. That is because I'm actually a bit ill. Not a bit, I'm quite ill. And I'm recovering. I'm in recovery mode. So do bear with me. But today is the 1st of February. I remember waking up this morning and I was like, this is ridiculous. We're already in the 2nd month of the year. And before you know it, we'll be in December again. And there you go, 2023, gone with the wind. So anyway, today's video is something a little bit more therapeutic. It's more conversational, and we're going to be speaking about the single season, what it is, why it's fantastic, why you need to stop doing when is he gonna come get me, or when is she going to come and meet me, or when is she gonna, you know, just snap out of thinking of being in relationship mode and actually enjoying where you're at right now, which I feel like a lot of people don't do. But it's gonna be a chit chat, not really structured. Sorry, I can't be structured all the time. And hopefully you would find this fun, engaging, and you just get to see a different side of me. Let's start from the very beginning. I remember when I joined my church in 2020, they were like advertising this course called Relate that, you know, like speaks about maximizing your single season, particularly for ladies that eventually want to be married. And so I was like, oh yeah, sure. It's supposed to be one of like the flagship courses of the church. So let me go and, you know, see what this is about. So they usually have it in February. So if it comes on this February, I will like share it. I'll share it on my platform at some point. But anyway, so I did it, and that thing literally changed my life because she just spoke. I feel like she said things that I knew, but she said it in a different way, and I'm gonna give you guys a tea here, of course. So the whole point of being single is for you to get to know you, but more than that is for you to find your purpose first. Don't go and stick yourself to someone when you don't even understand yourself yet. It's literally a recipe for disaster. So if we go back all the way to the start of the Bible, we see that God made Adam and he said it was good. And then Adam got to work on what God made him for. He was working on the plants, speaking to animals. I'm just taking the piss, obviously. You know, taking care of the animals, doing all sorts of things. And it was after he had worked in purpose, or he understood his purpose to a certain degree, that God was like, it is not good for a man to be alone. I will make him a helper suitable. So then he makes beautiful Eve, and then she kind of does things that leads us to like work for the rest of our lives. Okay, not that part. But the point is, Adam was working in purpose before he met Eve, which is pretty much my first point. The single season is really one where you're supposed to lean into you. Do you know why you're here? It doesn't mean you have to have your purpose or like what you want to do for the rest of your life to like 99.9% accuracy, because I even feel like that might be difficult to achieve. It's something you discover over time. It's not something you get immediately. Having an understanding of the sphere you're supposed to be in is very powerful. So when I think of myself, I was running down a path that was not mine. I was very set on, hey, I want to work in finance, I want to work in investment banking, I can hack it, I want to do all these really amazing things. And oh my god, that job, for if you're called to it, it's fantastic, go for it. But it wasn't me. It was literally a fish in a forest situation. It was so not me that it was actually quite comical. I'll never forget the day that I met this lady, guys. I met her and she was like, oh, what do you do? Actually, I went for tennis. So I play tennis in Regent's Park sometimes. And I went for one of my classes and I saw this lady there. She was like, oh, you know, what do you do? So she was just starting out, or she was trying to move into tech. And I told her that I worked in finance. And she was like, oh, as in like a desk job. I was like, yeah. She was like, so what do you do? You know, like PowerPoint presentation, blah, 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 Excel, strategy, all that good stuff. Like just kind of explained what my job entailed. And she just looked at me like this. What a waste of talent. I had never heard that from anywhere before. She literally was like, yeah, they're literally wasting their money because this is not the kind of girl you put behind a computer screen to sit on a desk and like tap away. And I remember walking home and just being like, damn, that really stung. But it also confirmed what I knew deep down in my heart, that I was running down a path that was not mine. I feel like it's so much easier for you to find your path and know where you fit, know who you are, and settle into it when you're alone, where you don't have tentacles, when you don't have any other person like waiting on you, like asking you, I don't know, where you don't have any pressure, external pressure. Instead of moaning, you should be leaning into this. Second thing is understanding you. So I feel like a lot of women, either conscious or unconscious, always like sit down fantasizing the next thing, more specifically when they get to marry a guy, without understanding that as a unit, like by yourself, you have certain traits and habits that you need to be very mindful of. So for example, I actually really love being alone a lot. I love my space to like a very like crazy degree. So you know this if you're close to me. I love my space. My family speaks about it all the time. My friends, my close friends, they speak about it all the time. They know Tumi is the kind of person where I don't like being in crowds 24/7 or people in my space 24/7. I had to actually realize that, and I was like, oh whoa, okay, I need to not be so distant. Because if you come to my house and you spend time with me, I love it and everything, but if you spend like 1 week with me non-stop, I am going to be the grumpiest person that ever lives.
What's the problem? Why are you stressing my life, for Christ's sake?
Time, like pockets of time to be by myself. I don't want to see you, your shadow, your eyebrow. I don't want to see anything. Like, I just want it to be me. So having to like understand that whilst I'm alone has been really great, because I'm settling into me, but also learning how to work around that where there's another person in the picture. For example, I now live with my sister. So previously I used to live in the flat all by myself. So I would joke to my family and say that it's just me, my shadow, Jesus, and the fridge, because I could hear the fridge noise 24/7. But now my sister lives with me, so I have another human being that is breathing, eating, and sleeping very close to me, and I'm learning how to navigate that. And it's been so beautiful, because being completely alone has helped me know how to manage someone else being with me. But I guess I was telling that story to speak about the importance of just knowing your traits, your habits, things you do that are very important to you that you may lose when this amazing Prince Charming comes. Third thing would be doing what you want. And this cuts across everything. Finances, or how you spend your money. Travel, where you travel to. For example, okay, traveling. If you guys take a look at this channel, you know that I like to enjoy. I like to enjoy. I cannot imagine someone being like, oh, you can't travel tomorrow. Why not? Like, if I want to travel tomorrow, I will get up and I'll be on the flight tomorrow. There's like, what's stopping me? Nothing is stopping me. When there's someone in the picture, it's just a little bit more complicated, because first of all, if they're supposed to come with you, you have to think of schedules. If they're not supposed to come with you, it could be like, oh, but I need you here for what? For support. Can you not support yourself? So it becomes a little bit more complex when they're like tentacles. That's what I call them, like kids and husband, all sorts of things, commitments. Whereas now, honestly, if I want to go to New York tomorrow, I can go to New York tomorrow. If I want to go to Spain in 2 weeks, I can go to Spain in 2 weeks. No one can do anything about it. So, and it's such a powerful place to be, where you have this sense of freedom. Like, you can literally do as you please, and obviously within reason, right? And it's something that I think a lot of people don't appreciate till it's taken away from them. Every season in your life is supposed to be maximized to the fullest, and I fear that a lot of people, without knowing it, spend a lot of time fantasizing the next season without milking this season. Because where I'm at right now, I'm actually like holding on to it. Not that I'm holding on to it for dear life, but I'm cherishing it so much because I have loved this season, loved it. And don't get me wrong, I know that when the babies come and all of that stuff comes, it would be beautiful in itself, and it's not going to be a worse state than now, because there's a scripture that says the path of the just is like the morning sun, shining brighter and brighter until the perfect day. So there is hope and belief that even in that next season there will be more beauty. It will come with its challenges, but it will be beautiful. It's not that the loss of the single is the loss of my freedom and the loss of me being like joyful and alone. There are going to be things that it's going to be more complex to navigate in the next season. But I guess that is why I'm telling you, like, right now, or rather we're having this conversation right now where it's like, please enjoy this time. Like, guys, let's all enjoy this time. And I decided to make this video because I know it's Valentine's Day. I know some people are out. Like, one of my friends, she sent me like her options that she's gonna wear for her date with her boyfriend for Valentine's Day, and I was like, oh, this is such a cute outfit. What am I doing on that day? Probably working or sleeping or resting. I'm not doing anything interesting. Oh, well, you never know. I'll update you guys in 2 weeks. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, the point is, I'm making this conversation because I want people to see and understand that this is such a precious time for you to find you, lean into you, do you in your fullest without thinking about any other person. I hope that gives you some, you know, things to think about. I hope it makes you see that you're not diseased. Being single is not a disease, it's not a curse. This season for you is a season of self-discovery. It's a season of self-acceptance. It's a season of growth. It's a season of maturity. Like, it's not supposed to be one where you are doing as if you are like a leper that they've cast out of society. It's such a beautiful and phenomenal season. I can't understand how someone would not love it. But yeah, that's the end of it. Obviously, we're gonna have a little bit more spicy topic in the month of February, but I hope this has been able to give you a bit more life so you can see a single season with love as opposed to disdain. Bye, guys.